This program is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
To inconsistent government policies, multiple transactions. Of course, government is trying to address that now. Difficulty in assessing financing, and of course the big one, the insecurity in the country. All of these have hindered both local and foreign investment in Nigeria. Quite a whole lot of issues there to talk about with regards to issues around ease of doing business in Nigeria as it relates to the Nigeria current economic reform. Let's put some perspective into this and speak to someone who should know. Let's talk to the Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He joins me via Zoom from Abuja here, Mr. Agabaidu Jideani. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, good morning, Mr. Jideani. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Yusuf. Good morning.
All right, good morning. It's a pleasure
good
having
morning,
you.
Viewers.
It's a pleasure having you on Business Daily.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. Nice.
All right, let's quickly start this way. I mean, a lot of government policies have been introduced under this government. Talk to us. You are representing, both the private sector and, of course, the business community, so to say. Talk to us about how much of this, the impact that this policy have had on the businesses of some of these people you are representing.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. Let me start by introducing the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. You know, earlier on, you introduced me as the DG of Lagos Chamber of Commerce, which was an error. My sister, Chinyere, the beautiful Chinyere, the DG of Lagos Chamber of Commerce. Okay. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry is the voice of the private sector, the organized private sector in the FCT and the environment. So we try to help businesses and help the public sector as well, bringing about trade facilitation and market access. And at the chamber, we do this through our 4 centers: the Business Entrepreneur Skills and Technology Center, the Dispute Resolution Center, the National Policy Center, and the Abuja Trade Center. So regarding the impact of public policy on businesses, it has been a mixed bag. In some areas, it has helped businesses to begin to thrive. Initially, when the government came into office, the policies were very, very inimical to businesses, and especially the removal of the subsidy, which immediately hit businesses with increased prices, inflation. The currency policies also were very, very hurtful to businesses. But today, we have achieved a bit of stability in the fluctuations in the foreign exchange market, so which has given businesses an opportunity to be able to plan and also execute and move ahead. Despite that, we have issues with infrastructure. An example I will give you is this: our Idu industrial estate. They are in Abuja, which is our major manufacturing hub. The difficulties there are many regarding infrastructure. So we are engaging with government to ensure that bright policy is put in place to ensure good infrastructure for businesses to begin to thrive. Let's start from there. Broadband infrastructure, road infrastructure, adequate power. These are issues that affect the businesses in the FCT in a very, very difficult area.
All right. DG, let's look at this issue now, one after the other now. You've talked about the general impact of government policies on the business. Let's pick some of them now, one after the other. The issue of subsidy removal, which was the first thing that this government did, the FX unification as well, which has affected, the value of the naira since that time up till now. Talk to us about How does these policies, I mean...
Sorry, Yusuf, I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me, DG? Can you hear me now?
Hello, Yusuf.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hello, Yusuf.
Hello,
yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I said let's pick them one by one. Let's start with the fuel subsidy and of course the exchange rate. How is it affecting, impacting negatively or positively on the businesses of organized private sector?
Hello, Yusuf.
We seem to be having technical issues now. Let's go on a very quick break. When we come back, the shows continue. Don't go away. Glad to have you back. I have the DG of Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Agabaidu Jideani, back online. Now, good morning, sir. Once again.
Thank you very much, Yusuf.
All right. I was asking before we went on that break. The issues are so many. If you look at the government policies now, we start with the fuel subsidy and, of course, the exchange rate unification. How much of impact is this having on the organized private sector? Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I ask the impact of government policy, fuel subsidy removal, and of course, exchange rate unification. How much of impact is it having on organized private sector?
Okay, so Yusuf, let's look at the exchange rate regime. As soon as the government came and tried to merge the two markets, the impact was very, very difficult for businesses because the volatility hit the market immediately that was done. But at this moment, there has been a bit of stability. You know, the greatest problem for businesses is when you are not sure of what is going to happen tomorrow. So without clarity, without consistency, businesses are not able to plan. But today, there has been a bit of stability on that exchange rate regime, and businesses can now plan. We are beginning to resuscitate business. Previously, 2 years, last year, we had issues of businesses having to close. But now we are beginning to resuscitate. The chamber itself is working with a lot of businesses to put their foot on the ground. Now that we have a bit of stability in the exchange rate regime in the market. So for this, we take kudos to the government. But we expect it to continue to stabilize and become very friendly for businesses, especially for those businesses that need to import raw materials for their production.
Indeed. Talking about raw material for production, let's look at the fuel subsidy. What is your reaction to that?
Okay, no, the first subsidy at the time it came there was a little bit of consultation, there was absolutely no planning. The example I gave to some businesses when we discussed it was like a man who wants to repair his leaking roof in the middle of the rainy season, coming up to remove the entire roof. So everybody gets soaked. But as soon as the roof is put back in place, people begin to feel warmer. But in the meantime, when everybody was soaked, businesses suffer. That is the way it is. So today we have all adjusted to it. And even though it has affected the purchasing power, because the subsidy removal came with a bit of devaluation and inflation as well. So we had the issues of our customers being impoverished. But today we have a bit of stability. We have seen it where it is going, and we are beginning to work towards ensuring that businesses survive. It hit us bad, but Nigeria is a resilient society. So businesses in Abuja and the environs are resilient, and we have taken that in our stride, even though a couple of the costs have been passed on to the consumers.
All right, let's talk about the issue of infrastructure deficit. It's still a challenge. How are the issue of roads, networks, and of course so many other challenges? The power is another one. Talk to us about how much of impact are this having on businesses, and what do you expect from government in this regard?
Okay, so the major problem with infrastructure is it brings a lot of costs to businesses. If, for instance, we're talking about power, and we need to power our machineries, we need to use diesel, we need to find alternative sources. Those bring almost 35% of increase in the cost of production for businesses, not just in the FCT, all over the country. So we need that to be, so we need government to put some thinking hat on and ensure that we have power supply that will help not just increasing the production, we also have a long chain of multiplier effects that will be translated to the final consumer. So we expect government will be engaging with the government on the issue of power, even if it is for industrial hubs where production and manufacturing takes place. If we will have power supply fully in those places, it will help us go a long way. Another thing is the broadband for communication, because it is very important. There are a lot of people used to think that it's just power. Inability to access communication relationships have also been a very big issue. So we are also communicating, working with the NCC to ensure that our manufacturing hubs receive broadband supply, broadband availability for businesses to continue to thrive. Then the road network. Supply chain depends on a lot of the road network. And it has been a very, very big problem for moving from farm to table for those in the agricultural sector. And agriculture is the next big thing after oil. So we need that road network to be looked at. We have spoken to government about it. And it is impacting negatively, very negatively on businesses in the FCT and the environment.
All right. Let's look at another one, the big elephant in the room, tax. And of course, the issue of regulation as well. How much of impact is it having on your businesses? Indeed, very important.
The truth, Yusuf, is that nobody wants to be regulated. It's a big issue everywhere in the world. In the US, you see that the big businesses want less regulation. But government must act as government to ensure that there is good redistribution of wealth. So regulation is something that we have to deal with. The Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry will have a center, the National Policy Center, where we continually engage with government agencies with regard to regulation. So the major problem we have is that we have cross regulations from very different agencies. So you have one issue being regulated by 2-3 different agencies, and none of them will yield to the other. So the businesses are now affected negatively by not knowing how to navigate the myriads of inconsistent regulations from very different government agencies. But at the chamber, the policy center has been able to put businesses and the government agencies, the regulators on the same table and try to find a way to meet each other halfway to ensure that businesses continue to thrive. On the other hand, with regard to tax, there has been a lot of work done. So we give kudos to government for the tax reforms. All we are saying is that we need a little bit of clarity, we need a little bit of time for businesses to get attuned to the new policies, the new reforms that came in from the 1st of January. So businesses are beginning to, we are educating our own members, and we're educating also members of the public, but we're asking for a little bit of debate so that we do not die under the burden of heavy taxation. That is what businesses are asking of government.
Indeed, we should not die because of issue of taxation. Business need to survive. Are you in any way asking for tax holiday for some of the businesses, especially the local manufacturers?
Of course, that's what we're asking for. A couple of businesses require to receive tax holidays, tax rebates, because it is only when businesses thrive that taxes will be paid. If you start with putting a lot of burden on some businesses, then those businesses will not thrive, they will not survive, they will not grow, they will not make profits, and you have nothing to tax. So a lot of businesses, a lot of taxation will come inside the net if in Nigeria must contribute to our economic development. We must pay tax. It's an obligation that we accept to do. But we have to survive. We have to be alive to be able to pay those taxes.
Indeed, very, very important. But are you implying that government is putting the cart before the horse? Maybe they should have at least created a very good business environment first and before introducing the new tax policy?
Yes, in a way. That's what we are saying. But also we are realistic. Government requires the revenue to be able to run the administration, to be able to run the country. But all we are saying is that let us work together, let us understand each other, and let us also see our tax money at work. There's a bit of lack of trust, because I must tell you, the businesses, the people of Nigeria have, there's a trust deficit between the people and the government. Let me leave it at that.
All right. The issue of trust is indeed a major concern between the people and, of course, the government there with regards to issue of taxation. Nigerians want to know what government is doing with their money, and government in turn is also looking for revenue, even though there's been a lot of concern with regards to the funding of so many government projects. I mean, they've been concerned by the National Assembly that they are worried that most of the capital projects receive zero allocation, and despite the huge amount of revenue being declared by the revenue collection agencies, the amount of borrowing that the government have also undertaken within this period as well. Mr. Agabaidu, will you want to react to that?
Yes, clearly. The major issue for those of us on this side of the divide is that there is a bit of a lack of transparency on the side of government. We have a lot of contractors who have done a lot of work, who are being owed, and who have not been paid. And now we are having people in the National Assembly, our representatives, and the Senate and House of Reps, also coming out to say that a lot of the capital projects that they approve budgets for, they are not funded. The people in the MDAs are also saying the same thing. So what we are saying is that it is not our business to tell governments how to run its business. But business people are also members of society. So we suffer also when there are very little investment in the capital projects. And we want transparency, we want accountability. Businesses want to see that when government acquires, borrows money, because it is our tax that will be used to pay back this indebtedness. So we want to see the borrowed funds, we want to see the money that are mandated or allocated for projects at work in those projects. The thing we want to do is to see and hear and be able to say, yes, in my community, this is what has been done. In that community, this is what has been done. But so far, there's a bit of gap in government responses in those areas.
Indeed, a lot of gaps with regard to government responding to infrastructure, but I will tell you that the coastal road construction is still ongoing. Let's talk to a bit another very important thing that is also affecting businesses. Insecurity is also a major concern as well. Talk to us about how is this impacting on businesses and, of course, investors' confidence, especially foreign investors who want to come into Nigeria.
The insecurity is a very big problem for us. It also become a reputational issue for us. Anywhere you go, anywhere in the world, and we're talking about coming to invest in Nigeria, the question is security. We heard that your country is not safe. People cannot come in and move, do businesses. People cannot move around. One of the biggest issues is not for foreign investment. It's actually for domestic investment. Those of us who are in businesses in Nigeria who may want to invest in various different places are unable to do so. We are even unable to travel, move from Abuja to Kaduna to Kano, to hold meetings, to visit farms, to look at locations for setting up factories. We're not unable to do that because of the insecurity in the place. And some of the insecurity is also not real. It is some of them because of the reputation that has been achieved for serious insecurity in the country. People are now attributing a lot of things to insecurity. But the greatest problem is that when the bandits, when the terrorists, when they come, what they want to do is to cause fear. There is fear. They have achieved that. They have caused fear in us. We are unable to move around. We are unable to, if you're not traveling by flight, you don't travel. So supply chain, once again, is disrupted. People do not want to move their goods because they don't think that there is safety on the roads. So that is a big problem for us, not just for foreign investments, also for domestic investments.
All right, quickly, let's look at the issue of finance. Access to finance is also a concern, and of course, a huge interest rate that business owners will also have to pay is another thing. Talk to us about the impact. I mean, the interest rate is somehow the CBN is trying to bring it down, but again, it's still not really within the expectation of many business owners in Nigeria.
Yeah, the issue of interest rate is very clear. It's something that we are continually engaged with the financial sector regulators on. But one thing I need to let you know is that we have issues with access to finance generally in the country, but we also have issues of preparedness. Businesses are not really prepared. You need to put your hands together. You need to understand the terrain where you're operating. You need to know what you're doing. You need to be good and adept at the businesses you want to do, and then be able to apply for those finances. Sometimes businesses will not get those finances because they are not prepared, because they don't know what they want to do. So at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, what we have done is that we have a center, the Business Entrepreneurship Skills and Technology Center, where we prepare businesses for these things. We get them trained, we get them prepared. When we collaborate with financial institutions to ensure that they receive the finances. One of the biggest problems is that financial institutions do not want to lose their monies when they give them out. And if you're not prepared, if you're not trained, you won't be able to do business and return the funds and pay back to the financial institution. So that is one area. But that said, are very hard. We are working with the Bank of Industry, we are working with the Bank of Agriculture and a couple of industrial development financial institutions to ensure that we have zero under 10-digit rates for entrepreneurs. That's what we are doing at the moment in the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Okay, all right. While you're doing all of this, how are you navigating the bureaucracy, the corruption, and of course the legal uncertainties within the country?
Sorry, Yusuf, I didn't get that.
I say while you are doing what you said, what you are preparing ground for businesses, training a lot of them, how are you navigating the uncertainty within the environment, the issue of corruption, the issue of legal uncertainties? How are you navigating through that? The bureaucracy as well.
Yusuf, the market today now. The market today, and so we must say. The thing is that the corruption is also something that affects everybody, not just the public sector, not just the businesses. And we try to help businesses to be innovative, to be able to navigate these dangers. We train them to see these dangers and find a way to work around them. In those industrial development institutions like the Bank of Industry, like the Bank of Agriculture and whatnot, corruption is not really the issue. The issue is capacity. The issue is the rates, as we have mentioned. But we train our people, we train our businesses, we help them to navigate the issues of corruption. And the legal uncertainties have to do with when the commercial sector asks for collaterals, and we don't have a lot of young entrepreneurs who have land, for instance, and other requirements for secure credit. So we work on those, and we are putting up policy papers from our policy center to ensure that governments see things from the perspective of businesses. But is there corruption? Yes, there is corruption. Are we going to give up because there is corruption? No. We will not give up because there is corruption. We work around it, and then we ensure that businesses continue to thrive.
All right, very, very important. As we begin to wrap up the conversation now, legal uncertainty is a major issue. I mean, in a country where there is no trust in the legal system is quite a problem. Many international businesses who want to come to Nigeria will also look at our legal system, whether if there is infraction, if there is a problem, they'll be able to get justice. Are you worried that we're having that kind of deficit of trust in our legal system?
Yes, there is the Chamber of Commerce in Abuja. We thank our leaders, people who came before us to run this chamber, because we saw there was foresight. We saw this, and we established what we call the Nigerian Chamber of Commerce Dispute Resolution Center, because we know that there will be commercial disputes, and we know that international organizations and international businesses, international investors have little confidence in the judiciary because of the delays. For a businessman, time and money. So we don't have the time to waste, we don't have the money to waste. So we established this center for dispute resolution so that this commercial disputes are quickly resolved in a friendly and amicable manner, and in a very timely fashion as well. So we foresaw this, and we have this center, which is headed by, is led by Prince Adetokunbo Kayode, former Attorney General of the Federation of Nigeria. He's the chairman of that center. We have another former Attorney General of the Federation, Chief, who is also a member of that center. And we have a couple of other people, Chief Emeko Begulu, SAN, who is also a member of the center. So we have that center ongoing. We have a former Chief Judge of the FCT, Dr. Ishak Bello, who is also a member of that center. So we have the center established with reputable people, professionals in this area, to ensure that disputes are quickly resolved. The center serves the whole of Nigeria, not just businesses in the FCT. So the business community in Abuja have greatly isolated themselves from the problem of lack of trust in the judiciary. We have established a dispute resolution center that ensures that disputes are quickly, amicably, and very friendly resolved.
All right. Thank you so much. A lot to talk about, but time is always not our friend. Mr. Agabaidu Jideani, Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for your time and your thought on Business Daily today.
Thank you very much, Yusuf. I would like to go back, Yusuf.
All right, no problem. We certainly hope the next time we'll have you in the studio. Thank you so much. That is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Yusuf Akogu.
This program is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.